In this video, you will learn how to read your syllabus, calculate your grades, and calculate your GPA. In your syllabus, you will find a course schedule. Each week is listed in the course schedule with important information such as assignments that need to be completed during that week. The course outline is usually a table that shows you what topics you will be learning about each week, as well as any readings and assignments you must complete in that week. In the assignments and grading part of your syllabus, it lists each assignment and describes it. It tells how the assignment must be completed, such as how references are to be cited, and also tells you how many points the assignment is worth. There is also a grading scale in your syllabus. It tells you how many points are in the class and how the points are distributed. On the table on the right, it tells you how many points you need in order to achieve a certain grade. A student has earned 250 out of 300 points so far in a course, which means their current grade is an 83%, which is a B. The student wants to get an A in the course. We will find out if it's possible and how many points they must earn in the rest of the course. There are 150 points left in the class, which means there's a total of 450 total points in the class. To receive an A, you have to have a grade between 90% and 100%. So we'll take the lowest grade you can get, which is a 90%, which is 0.9 as the decimal. So you take 0.9 times 450 points to get 405 points. So in order to get an A in the class, the student would need at least 405 points by the end of the course. The student currently has 250 points and there's 150 left. So when we add 250 plus the 150, the highest number of points that the student could get is 400. So it's not possible for the student to receive an A in the class, but they could get a B+. A student has earned 175 out of 350 points so far in a course, which is a 50%, which is an F. The student would like to pass the course with a D. We will find out if it is possible and how many points they must earn in the rest of the course. There are 250 points left in the class, which means there is a total of 600 points. A D is between 60% and 64%. So we're going to take the 60% and write it as a decimal, which is 0.6. Then we take 0.6 times 600 to get 360 points. So to get a D in the class, the student will need at least 360 points. The student currently has 175 points and there's 250 points left in the class. So by adding 175 and 250, the total is 425. So it is possible for the student to receive a D in the class, but if they earn all the points that are left in the class, they could get a C. A student has earned 460 out of 500 points in a course so far, which is a 92%, which is an A. There are 150 points left in the class. The student would like to know how many points they must get in order to keep their A in the course. First, we need to find the total number of points in the class. 500 points have already been assigned, and there's 150 left, which gives us a total of 650 points in the class. The student wants to keep an A in the class, which is a 90%, which is 0.9 as the decimal. You take 0.9 times the 650 points in the class to get 585 points. So the student needs to get at least 585 points to keep an A in the class. The student has already earned 460 points, but needs 585 to keep the A. So you take 585 minus 460 and you get 125. So the student needs to earn at least 125 of the remaining 150 points to keep a grade of an A. A student has earned 460 out of 650 points so far in a course. That gives the student a grade of a 70%, which is a C. There are 200 points left in the class. How many of the remaining points must a student get in order to keep their C? First, we need to find the total number of points in the class. 650 points have been assigned, and there are 200 left, which gives us a total of 850. In order to get a C, you have to have at least a 70%, which is 0.7. 0.7 times 850 equals 595. So the student needs to have at least 595 points at the end of the course in order to keep the C. The student has earned 460 points so far, but needs 595 to keep the C. So 595 minus 460 equals 135. The student needs to earn at least 135 of the remaining 200 points to keep a grade of a C. The table on the left shows the worth a grade has based on a 4.0 scale. To calculate your GPA, you will need to find the total worth of your classes and divide by the total number of credit hours you are taking. Here you see a student's class schedule and the grades received. You multiply how many credit hours a class is by the worth of the class. For example, English 101 is worth 3 credit hours, and the student received an A, which is worth 4 points. 3 times 4 is 12. After doing that for each course, you add up the total worth of the classes, which is 55, and the total number of credit hours, which is 16. Then you take 55 divided by 16 to get a GPA of 3.44. Here you see another student's class schedule and their grades received. You multiply how many credit hours a class is by the worth of the class. For example, College 101 is worth 2 credit hours, and the student received a B+, which is worth 3.5 points. 2 times 3.5 is 7. After doing that for each course, you add up the total worth of the classes, which is 20.5, and the total number of credit hours, which is 14. Then you take 20.5 divided by 14 to get a GPA of 1.46.